That old box tucked away in a drawer, inherited from a grandmother or a mother-in-law. It's filled with a tangle of necklaces, a few clip-on earrings from the 60s, and maybe a ring or two with a stone so dull you've always assumed it was just cheap costume jewelry. It's the trinket box. A box of memories maybe, but certainly not a box of treasure. Most of the time our assumptions are right. That old diamond is glass. That ruby is plastic. But we keep it, because it connects us to someone we loved. But what if we were wrong? What if, buried beneath the tarnished silver and knotted chains, there was something life-changing? This is the dream that keeps shows like the beloved Antiques Roadshow on our screens. We watch week after week, hoping to see that magical moment of discovery. And on a recent episode at Stephen's House and Gardens in London, one guest lived that dream in the most unbelievable way. It all started, as it so often does, with a box of costume jewelry. The day it almost got thrown away, a woman, whose name wasn't shared but whose face we can all relate to, approached jewelry expert Joanna Hardy. She carried a small collection of items that had belonged to her mother-in-law. It was a humble offering, brought more in hope than expectation. She explained the backstory, and it's one that will send a chill down your spine. When she moved a couple of years ago, there was a box of trinkets and kind of costume jewelry the guests shared. Then came the heart-stopping moment. A gentleman came round to do clearance, she continued, and he rifled through the box and he picked it out and he said, "I think this might be real." Let's just pause there. Imagine that moment. A clearance man seconds away from hauling the box to a charity shop, or worse, the dump, spots a little glimmer. "This one," he says, "I think this might be real." That single offhand comment is the only reason the first ring even made it to Joanna's table. But it was the second ring that held the real secret. And this other one, again from her family, the guest explained, and didn't know anything about it. This one, however, had a less promising history. Unlike the first ring that got a nod from the clearance man, this one had already been professionally dismissed. "And I did take it round the corner to a jeweler," the guest admitted, almost apologetically. "And she said she thought it was glass, like a sort of blue glass. Blue glass, the kiss of death in the antiques world. It was a pretty piece of junk, nothing more. It was dirty, dull, and according to an expert, definitively not real. Thank goodness she brought it anyway." The expert's eye. Joanna Hardy, an expert with a kind face and an eagle eye, listened patiently. This is the bread and butter of her job, gently telling people that their family heirlooms are, in fact, just glass. She started with the first ring, the one the clearance man had saved. Her eyes lit up. It was a large, rose-cut diamond, a style that placed it firmly in the 18th or 19th century. It wasn't perfect. It had natural inclusions and a slight yellow tint. But to Joanna, that's what made it special. "It has that age to it," Joanna revealed, her voice full of admiration. "It has that character which you just can't manufacture." This trinket from the costume jewelry box, it was a genuine antique diamond. Joanna gave her valuation. "At auction, I would say that this diamond would be around $5,000. The guest was stunned. $5,000 for something that was almost thrown away. That right there was a successful day. That was the story she would go home and tell her family. But Joanna wasn't finished. She turned her focus to the other ring, the dirty glass. "I gave it a bit of a clean, and then I looked at this one here," Joanna said, her tone shifting. "And I've given it a bit of a clean because it was a bit dirty." This is the magic of the roadshow. An expert takes a grimy, forgotten object and sees beneath the decades of neglect. As the camera zoomed in, the ring was transformed. The dull blue glass was now a vibrant, flashing stone of an almost electric color. But it wasn't just the color that caught Joanna's expert eye. It was what was inside. "And I looked and looked," she explained, "and I can find 2 feather inclusions." Now, for you and me, feather inclusions might sound like a flaw. It sounds like a crack. But to a gemologist, it's a fingerprint. It's the unique, natural signature of a stone that grew deep within the earth, not in a factory. Glass doesn't have feathers. Joanna knew exactly what she was looking at. This was the smoking gun. "And that to me," she said, "the suspense building. indicates that it is a Sri Lankan sapphire, and it is a beautiful color. She was mesmerized. It almost might be a color change sapphire, she mused. I'd like to look at it in a different light source because it's sort of got that violet eye light blue quality about it. I think it is such a beautiful color.